Good afternoon. I'm pleased to declare Quinnipiac University's 2017 commencement exercises for the School of Nursing officially open. Would everyone please stand for the invocation which will be delivered by Reverend Jordan Lenahan, Catholic chaplain.
Commencement comes from the Latin word co, meaning with, and mensa, meaning table. In the medieval times, it marked the moment in which students, having finished their academic program, no longer sat at the table with the other students, but instead sat at the table with the other faculty, with those who had finished the program. The word means beginning, but it also has this meaning, the sense of ending. But then again, as we've been reminded a few years ago by a contemporary American philosopher, every new beginning is another beginning's end. And so, as it is time for you to go out into the world, the time for you to go back to the place where you will be from, I invite you to realize that when you come to this closing time, this time of new beginnings, you didn't come of your own. You came because so many people have loved and supported you. So please bow your heads. And in your own way, I would invite all of you, especially our soon-to-be graduates, to just think of all of those who brought you to this place and to this space. All of those who, with their love and their support, through the determination and their effort, made this moment possible. And in your heart, thank God. And may God bless you and bless us as we begin this School of Nursing commencement. Amen.
Please be seated. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the platform party, which includes trustees, university administrators and representatives, university clergy and deans, as well as our speaker and honorary degree recipient, whom you'll meet shortly. It's now my honor to present Dr. John L. Leahy, President of Quinnipiac University, who will bring you greetings on behalf of the university community.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to all of you on this joyous occasion. To our graduates, the class of 2017 from our School of Nursing, I want to add a special welcome and my heartiest congratulations to each and every one of you. During your years at Quinnipiac, you have made all of us very proud. While social scientists and the media often portray your generation as excessively self-centered and less concerned about helping others, the Quinnipiac class of 2017 has clearly disproven that characterization. More than any other class, the class of 2017 has volunteered on hundreds of projects to raise money for the sick and the impoverished and to help those who are less fortunate. Many of our graduates participated in community service projects to respond to the needs of local, national, and international communities. The big event is a student-run project that brought together more than 1,500 students this spring to provide direct services such as cleanup and beautification projects for local public parks and other help for nonprofit organizations. Philanthropic events such as Q-Thon, Relay for Life, and blood drives engaged thousands of students in raising money and supplies for Children's Hospital, the American Cancer Society, and the Red Cross. Many of our athletic teams participated in Dr. Seuss Day by reading Dr. Seuss stories to children at local schools, libraries, and preschools. And our 19 fraternities and sororities participated in community service projects, including service at elementary schools and nonprofits, and they raised thousands of dollars for local and global charities. Many of today's graduates have also traveled nationally and internationally to Nicaragua, Guatemala, Barbados, and the Dominican Republic to work with community members confronting challenges that they faced, including working with rural school teachers and healthcare workers, families of children with special needs, small business owners, and grassroots organizations. The class of 2017 also excelled academically. 70 awards will be given out this weekend, honoring seniors for their outstanding success in the classroom. And this class has also achieved an extremely high graduation rate and the highest levels ever, that is the highest levels in the history of this university, of cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude academic honors. Congratulations. A record number of you are also going on to pursue graduate degrees in various fields of study, including law and medical schools, and I'm sure in this audience, many doctor of nursing practice, as well as a variety of PhD programs. Today's graduates also displayed outstanding leadership within the Quinnipiac community, and no one better exemplified the leadership role that you took on than Joey Mullaney, who served as your student body president this year. I very much enjoyed working with Joey, particularly in his role as student representative on the university's Board of Trustees. Class of 2017, as you look back on all that you've accomplished, I am sure that you agree with me that you would not be graduating today if it were not for the help of support of two very important groups that Father Jordan referenced earlier: the faculty at Quinnipiac and your families. So graduates, please rise and express your appreciation to the faculty in front of you and your families seated all around you. Class of 2017, you have certainly left your mark on Quinnipiac University, and for that we thank you. And I predict that you will leave an even greater mark on the world that awaits you. Again, congratulations and best wishes to each and every one of you.
I now ask Mary Blankson, Cynthia Barrere, and John Leahy to come forward for the conferral of the honorary degree.
Mary Blankston, as Chief Nursing Officer for Community Health Center, you apply your passion for quality nursing services at the state's largest federally qualified health center and patient-centered medical home. Primary care, health care for the homeless, and school-based health services are among the areas you oversee. You also are committed to expanding and improving the quality of nursing services at CHC since joining it as a family nurse practitioner, and you have assumed many diverse roles over the last decade. When completing your Doctor of Nursing Practice education at Johns Hopkins University in 2015, you focused your capstone course on improving access to hepatitis C treatment within primary care. You were instrumental in implementing Project ECHO, a program that joins specialists from CHC's main sites in the Middletown-Meriden area where hepatitis C treatment is available, with healthcare providers at its satellite offices around the state for weekly video conferences, so more patients with that disease can gain access to treatment. In appreciation of your dedication to improving the lives of the many patients who desperately need nursing services, your work to reach the underserved through Project ECHO, Quinnipiac University is pleased to present you with an honorary Doctorate of Humane Letters degree this 21st day of May, 2017.
By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations, Mary.
It's now my privilege to introduce our commencement speaker, Mary Blankson.
President Leahy, Dean Lang and distinguished faculty and staff, family, friends, and of course, the graduating class of 2017. I want to thank you and let you know how honored I was to be invited to be your commencement speaker, to celebrate with you and hopefully to encourage, challenge, and inspire you as you enter into this career, which truly holds endless possibilities. Quinnipiac University School of Nursing. On your website, the heading states that you are dedicated to transforming healthcare one student at a time, that you have been focused on delivering a nursing education that emphasizes holistic and person-centered care delivery, as well as one that highlights all who contribute to the overall interprofessional collaborative practice team. These statements resonate with so many principles that I value as someone who has spent the last 12 years at our state's largest federally qualified health center, Community Health Center, Inc., where our banner is that healthcare is a right and not a privilege. This is why this university and our health center have forged a partnership to transform the role of the nurse in primary care, which is so important to the growing discussion of where our nation's healthcare system is headed and the focus that is being placed on prevention and value-based care. Quinnipiac is the first university in the state to seize this opportunity, and under Dean Lang's leadership, you have shown your dedication to innovation and partnerships that focused on changing the model of education for this new generation of nurses. And you, the class of 2017, are a product of that great education. Close to 20% of CHC's current frontline nursing staff have been a product of that great education, and they are making a very real difference today, and so will you. I wonder how many of you in this class are second-generation nurses or have other relatives or mentors who are nurses. I'm always so moved by the stories I hear from new nurses as to what inspired them to enter this field, and that journey often starts with a story about their own health, that of someone in their family, or about a friend or a loved one who is a nurse that they always admired. I'm so impressed knowing just how hard you all have worked to get to this day. Others may not completely grasp the late nights of studying, followed by early mornings of clinical, and the constant juggling and incorporating of new knowledge, with very little downtime to celebrate or even commiserate along the way. When people ask you how your day was, you share a story that often includes intimate details of humanity and how people enter and leave this life in one single moment. You share how you have the privilege to bear witness to it all. I say to the family and friends here today, you should be very proud of the hard work and dedication, the amount of themselves that these graduates have poured into every day here in this moment, all for the privilege of calling themselves nurses. Yes, we are nurses. We work to instill and restore dignity, even when it means just allowing life to happen. We're present and bear witness to the human experience. We create opportunities for families and patients to celebrate, to love, and even times to mourn. That is why this is much more than just a career. It's a passion, a mission, and a calling that comes with much responsibility. It is a life filled with character-defining experiences where each small, seemingly insignificant contact really displays who we are choosing to be, as well as who we are hoping to become. This achievement that we recognize and honor here today is one small yet monumental step in your journey to honor those that came before you and those that will follow. From here, you will continue to blaze a trail, carving out your portion of the wider path that will determine where the nursing profession is going in the years to come. So I want to leave you with 3 thoughts as you cross this stage today. 1, this idea that we should check ourselves at the door, that you respect the journey, and that you dream big. So first, I want you to think about what it would mean to check yourself at the door. Not that your perspective isn't important. Actually, on the contrary, you should be taking the time to record your story, even if only to process it with yourself and to validate your unique journey. Not only the beautiful and amazing, but the traumatic and messy things that people go through every day. But to check yourself at the door is to humbly acknowledge your weaknesses, your biases, your fears. Patients will rock your boat and push your buttons, and not because they necessarily want to, but because that is what being human is all about. Sometimes they'll be happy, and other times they won't, but all the time they will need your help and support. Sometimes their behavior is really masking fear or sadness or very real trauma, and we must be able to see through that to really understand their experience and how we can intervene. We have to be prepared to walk alongside them. We might not know quite what to expect, but our openness is critical to every interaction. After my first few rotations in nursing school, I had learned so much about how my preconceived notions were completely wrong and how controversial issues like non-compliance or non-adherence are so much more complicated than I originally had thought. Patients do not willfully make poor choices, nor do they necessarily take pleasure in these choices. Some lack support, some understanding. Sometimes patients are too proud to ask for help, and still sometimes things just happen for what seems like no reason at all. When people say we should be non-judgmental or sensitive, we often think, no problem, that's easy. But isn't life more complicated than this? Checking yourself at the door requires you to look deeper, that you recognize, acknowledge, and understand that others may be dealing with more complicated set of circumstances than you see on the surface. As a nurse, it is your responsibility to validate that experience and perception so that you may journey with them, not rushing ahead to point out the way, but to patiently walk beside them and to consider each fork in the road with them as they decide which way to go. Second, I want you to think about what it would mean to respect the journey. Just like you, your patient is on a journey, one that will have highs and lows and a lot of in-betweens. Now, I'm a bit of a hiker. I recently set a goal to hike the entire Appalachian Trail, the AT, before I retire. It's about 85 miles a year, so you can sort of decide from there how old I am. But the last section of the AT that I completed was 24 miles total. I started in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, and was hoping to make it through the Maryland section in 2 days, about 40 miles. I often aim high. Some people might say too high. My hiking mate is a colleague from my DNP program. On our first day, we had hoped to complete 24 miles. At around 12 miles to go, she turned to me and said, "How about we set a new goal?" This wasn't about her. On the contrary, she knew I was already tired and struggling, and she wanted to ensure that I was having fun rather than torturing myself. Of course, I appreciated this, and about 2.5 miles later, we called it quits for the night and stayed at a shelter. As I fell asleep, I reflected on the day, especially on how sore my body was, but more importantly, I had learned so much about myself, even in the midst of disappointment. Every experience, every moment, we take in information. For me, I had learned that I was clearly not prepared to do 24 miles that first day, but I was also excited that I had completed 14.5. I recognized that this dear friend had helped me to focus on the positive and celebrate my victories, while also then later discussing with me strategies to increase my strength, endurance, and other things that would support my success in the next hike. Make no mistake, she could have been disappointed in me, or frankly could have left me behind, but instead she focused on the journey that she was taking with me. She was so supportive in the moments when I was feeling disappointed in myself, in my preparation, and ultimately in my own body. In retrospect, I realized later that this is how my patients must feel at times. And don't we all experience this? In order to get to the highs in our journeys, we must work very hard on that uphill climb, managing all the trail switchbacks and carrying baggage, pacing ourselves to conserve our energy, while battling with the mind games that push us to give up. Going downhill seems so much simpler, at least in theory, but we all know that even walking downhill can be tough on our bodies the next day. And frankly, going downhill leads to the obvious reality that at some point, we'll have to work our way back up again. As we think about our patients, we must quickly identify where they are in their journey so that we can adjust ourselves to their perspective. Are they on the way down where everything seems to be going smoothly and things seem easy, but they have no idea how they'll feel after? Or are they on their way up, but it feels so difficult that they're on the verge of giving up? Have they stopped to sit because they actually have given up, or are they just resting? Often we as nurses are focused solely on one intervention or one interaction with the patient, and we forget the journey they are on. The impact of our actions on their overall journey that could ultimately lead them to alter their course or to get back up and keep moving. Now, I'm not suggesting that all the power is in our hands. If we would just say this or do that, then our patients would just fall in line and march in the right direction. All of those who came to CHC for a rotation witnessed firsthand the challenges we have in really trying to tap into the hopes and dreams of our patients to help them to set goals and to work steadily towards meeting them. Often they don't think they actually have any goals or feel that they could even reach a goal if they set one. So it's up to us to help them to find even just a drop of motivation to work with. That is how we begin the journey with them. Even when it seems that they've given up, we still work diligently to plant seeds. You never know when something will come to root. and your patient will ask a question, make an appointment, or actually be in the right place at the right time. In your journey, there may be times you question why you decided to become a nurse or why you chose your particular specialty. It may be when you start paying back your student loans, but it could be after a particularly difficult day. But that is when you should lead yourself back to your own story, your own narrative that explains why you're on this journey and why you embarked on this worthwhile trek. Some days the climb will feel harder than others, and some days you may feel like giving up. But please, please, don't ever stop, and don't mistake a rest stop for your destination. Any pit stop along the way should be savored and enjoyed, but not for too long, because the next leg of your journey will always be ready and waiting for you, and it will take you to places you never expected. Third, think about what it would mean to dream big, to push toward a mountaintop beyond the one you have already attained. When I interview nurses for jobs at our health center, I tell them I expect them to be dreamers. I want to surround myself with people who are recklessly creative, who think outside the box, folks who are not afraid to ask the hard questions. This is how, as a health center, as a profession, and as a country, we reinvent ourselves in the healthcare we deliver every day. This is how as nurses, we have fought to achieve the right to practice to the extent of our training, and now we have continued to expand the work that we do to serve in even greater ways. In order to dream big, we must be multilingual, not just in the literal sense when it comes to spoken language, but also in the figurative sense. We must be able to understand the world our patients live in, because that is where they are, struggling to grasp and hold on to health to whatever extent the circumstances may allow. We must be able to understand data and policy and even finance so that we can better understand the political and corporate interests that impact our patients. And we need to be at the forefront of the very important decisions that our country is making today. We need to continue to embrace the diversity in our workforce and how we prepare nurses to serve in expanded roles, particularly those in the community where the need will only continue to grow as we move forward towards value-based care in the context of the patient-centered medical home. At CHC, we wholeheartedly believe that healthcare is a right and not a privilege. We work every day to make this a reality, not just for our patients, but for patients across the country through partnerships with other health centers, with universities and local and national organizations, and by sharing everything we do to ensure that we are working toward a standard of care delivery that everyone has access to. You need to be in the middle of this work. No matter where you take your first job or where you apply your skill, always take a risk and stand and advocate for what is right. It is only through exercising ourselves outside of our comfort zones and achieving and sometimes falling short that we learn the full extent of our capabilities and learn to leverage, stretch, and strengthen every last fiber of our beings. In scientific circles, people insist that if you can't measure it, then it doesn't exist. But a new line of thinking is emerging to assert that stories are just data with a soul. For me, that's the heart of nursing. Yes, you steep yourselves in sound methodology, courageous public policy, and evidence-based practices, but more than anything, nurses and the stories they inspire are the living proof, the evidence that there is so much more to healthcare and to people and to society that meets the eye. If we don't continue to maintain focus on our narrative, our story, our journey, and then strive to use that truth to ensure that every individual can receive the care that I believe all have a right to, we may in fact lose sight of where we're going and lose sight of those we took an oath to care for. As you journey onward, I am hopeful that you will reflect often and be patient with yourselves and those that you take care of. Strive to surround yourself with people who want to see you succeed and who open doors for you to do things that might feel uncomfortable, but will ultimately grow you in ways you never imagined. And above all, dream big. Expect great things to happen because you intend to make great things happen. Always keep focus on your mission, the best healthcare for all. So with that, I say, congratulations to the class of 2017 on achieving today's big dream. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. It's now my privilege to turn over the program to Dr. Jean Lang, Dean of the School of Nursing.
Welcome. I ask now for Lisa O'Connor, Associate Dean of the School of Nursing, and Rhea Sanford, Clinical Professor of Nursing, to proceed to the pinning area. The first pins were awarded to recognize selfless service to injured and dying soldiers in the Crimean War. Pinning became a tradition in Florence Nightingale's St. Thomas School of Nursing and later in schools of nursing across the United States. Our graduates today are receiving not only their degree, but also their nursing pin. With these pins, we celebrate your journey and welcome you as colleagues into the profession of nursing. Wear it proudly. Marshals, would you please direct the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing from the School of Nursing to the platform? Christy Joyce Albers. Julia Altabrando. Brianna Irene Amendola. Neve Kathleen Ashi. Natalie Tamara Atanzino. Kristen M. Beaumier. Olivia Grace Becker. Catherine Elise Beebe. Olivia Ann Bemis. Marie Bernaccia. Marie Bernaccia is the recipient of the Alumni Award for Holistic Nursing Practice. The award recognizes clinical excellence and exceptional potential in the discipline of nursing. It is presented to the senior nursing student who has demonstrated a strong commitment to the unity of body, mind, emotion, and spirit in the delivery of health care. The award is supported by the Quinnipiac University Nursing Alumni Fund, which was established by the class of 1998. Congratulations, Marie. Amber Marie Barrios. Caroline Marie Best. Annalisa Biseglia. Jenna Marie Bird. Chloe Loran Boister. Victoria E. Body. Cody Thomas Brissetti. Molly Elizabeth Broderson. Courtney Alexander Cabana. Brianna Alexis Cahill. Christina Danielle Camacho. Kayla Marie Carberry. Kayla Marie Carney. Audra Maria Cantania. Alexa Marie Colaccia. Victoria Lee Conchetti. Lauren Elizabeth Condon. Alessandra Rose Cortina. Casey Lynn Crompton. Erica Rose Dagley. Hannah Marie Layla D'Amico. Sophia Christina D. Grace Elizabeth DeFrank. Alyssa Marie DeStefano. Mary Ellen Devine. Christopher Pablo Diaz. Christopher is the recipient of the Judy Leahy Community Service Award. The award was established by John Leahy, PhD, president of Quinnipiac University, and is named for Judith Leahy, a former nurse and community service advocate. It is given in recognition of exemplary community service and awarded to a graduating senior with a GPA of 3.0 or higher and who demonstrates impactful community service related to nursing. In addition, the recipient exhibits adherence to the core values of the nursing profession, and in particular, the School of Nursing at Quinnipiac, and has the vision of holism, interprofessionalism, and inclusivity. Congratulations, Christopher. Sanam Dolma. Taylor Jessica Eaton. Samantha Lee Edwards. Sydney Jennifer Earhart. Jennifer Ann Alcesser. Morgan Ryan Ely. Olivia Callie Farrell. Jillian June Ferraguto. Rachel Lauren Foley. Nicole Daytona Fowler. Morgan Catherine Fuller. Shannon Nicole Fusco. Grayson Elizabeth Gagliardi. Michaela Rose Godet. Andrew Michael Geller. Danielle Margaret Giglione. Lauren Rebecca Ginsberg. Emily Sophia Gonzalez. Caitlin Patricia Griever. Casey Marie Harding. Sierra Beth Harger. Courtney Michaela Harrington. Brittany Felicia Hart. Deborah Hearn. Carrie Ann Henninges. Kimberly Paige Hodgkins. Catherine Elaine Horbeck. Morgan Paige Jadziniak. Sarah Elizabeth Jess. Melissa Elizabeth Johns. Taylor Elizabeth Johnson. Cynthia A. Jones. Kevin Connor Juhaz. Emily Bryce Kata. Amanda Page Kaufman. Kalkeetan Akula Ketsela. Jody Lynn Kachin. Jordan Lee Lacrosse. Jordan is the recipient of the Benjamin and Juliet Truen Award for Professional Leadership in Nursing. The award recognizes outstanding and exceptional potential in the discipline of nursing as a leader and is presented to the nursing student who's made significant contributions to the nursing program and the greater community of nursing. This award is supported by the Benjamin and Juliet Truen Memorial Endowed Fund, established for the program by Estelle Truen Beecher in memory of her parents. Congratulations, Jordan. Danielle Marie LaRocca. Alexandria Larson. Hannah Elizabeth LaFave. Caitlin Nicole Leff. Nicole Christine Laferge. Catherine Elizabeth Lemieux. Erica Joy Leonard. Christopher Michael Lucy. Caitlin Kelleher Lynch. Carrie Louise Majeko. Danielle Nicole Mackey. Olivia Maher Mahoney. Marie Teresa Mann. Jessica Ann Marinas. Jennifer Ann Martin. Cameron Lee Maselli. Breeley Aaron McDonald. Brooke Ashley McGrath. Ashlyn Margaret McKelney. Julia Jean McKenna. Alyssa Catherine Melton. Lauren Britland Mikikawajcek. Lindsay Ann Mistretta. Emily Ann Middlestott. Brianna Marie Lynn Morales. Melissa Ann Moynihan. Christy Noti. Nick Van Wyn. Margaret Mary Jo O'Brien. Kelly Jean Ortiz. Stephanie Narco Othai. Samantha Nicole Paragonia. Letitiu Pahaidu. Jennifer Marie Peterson. Jennifer C. Pillard. Erica Grace Posadas. Sarah Ellis Post. Kennedy Ariana Rochelle. Giuseppe Real. Emily L. Richardson. Melissa Ann Richardson. Megan Erin Riley. Veronica Lynn Resnigak. Ixel Rodriguez. Abigail Elizabeth Rossetti. Christiana Adrian Razik. Danielle Erin Schreiber. Angelina Elizabeth Smith. Megan Elizabeth Stanford. Catherine Margaret Sullivan. Gabrielle Bobby Swan. Christina Antonetta Taibi. Jalinda Tahoe Fonseca. Rebecca Jane Taylor. Rachel Lee Testoni. Sarah Ann Terrio. Corey Celine DePias. Emily Page Todd. Marie A. Turcio. Tebechuku La Umiugo. Tubay is the recipient of 3 prestigious awards. I'm going to tell you what they are. The Benjamin and Juliet Truant Award for Academic Excellence in Nursing recognizes excellence and exceptional potential in discipline of nursing. The Alumni Association Academic Achievement Award is made possible by the Alumni Association National Board of Governors in honor of the student from each of the undergraduate schools who has attained the highest scholastic standing. In addition to earning this rank in the School of Nursing with a 4.0 GPA, Tubay is also the recipient of the President's Scholarship Award. Dr. Leahy presents this award in recognition of the students who have attained the highest scholastic standing in their graduating class. Tubay is a member of the Nursing International Honor Society, Sigma Theta Tau. He's also the 4th of his siblings to graduate from Quinnipiac. His parents, Ike and IJ, join him on stage. Congratulations, Tubay. Chloe Alice Underwood. Amber Gabriella Vernicatola. Samantha Marie Vitale. Pasqualina Anna Valino. Christopher Frederick Wallace. Jessica Danielle Walsh. Margaret Rose Whalen. Sarah Adams Whalen. Allison Marie Whitney. Jessica Lynn Williams. Megan Elizabeth Young. Hannah Olivia Zabek. I ask the candidates to please rise. Mr. President, I have the honor to present from the School of Nursing candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing.
By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations to all of you.
It is now my privilege to introduce Dr. Marianne Cordeaux, Associate Professor of Nursing, to lead the graduates in the Nursing Pledge.
Thank you. Graduates, please remain standing. Okay, together we're going to repeat and recite the Quinnipiac School of Nursing Pledge. Ready? I do solemnly pledge before this assembly to provide holistic care to all those in need of my disciplinary knowledge and skills. I will use clinical reasoning when providing nursing care. I will continually seek new knowledge and assist in knowledge development to guide nursing practice. I will enter into each nursing situation with an open mind. Through personal knowing, I will use myself therapeutically when interacting with my patients. My care will be rooted in ethics as defined in the American Nurses Association Code of Ethics. I will engage in practice to seek out and change social and political injustices that affect the health of individuals, communities, and populations. I will use my knowledge, skills, and beliefs to work as a member of the interdisciplinary healthcare team to provide safe, patient, and family-centered care. Congratulations, guys.
Please be seated. It's now my privilege to introduce our student speaker, Allison Marie Whitney. Allison is a nursing major from Burlington, Massachusetts.
Thank you, Dean Lang and members of the Platform Party. I would like to welcome all faculty, staff, family, friends, and especially the School of Nursing class of 2017. It is an absolute honor to be standing here with all of you today. If there is one thing we have learned throughout nursing school, it is that if it was not documented, it did not happen. So let me document some of the most memorable moments over the past 4 years of nursing school. It began during our nursing orientation as we looked around and recognized maybe 1 or 2 faces, but mostly we were all strangers to one another. We entered a new chapter in our lives where we were living in dorms, away from our parents, and wanting to be independent. We were all oriented to the classes ahead of us, like microbiology, anatomy and physiology, and the much anticipated nursing classes that began our junior year. But junior year was so far away, so let me begin with what came first. 2 words, muscles and bones. We were expected to know every single bone and every single muscle in the human body. How were we going to survive this? I remember riding the shuttle into New Haven on the weekends and catch each other's eyes, and we would all just start yelling out random muscles and random bones and expect each other to know them. And guess what? We did. and we passed. At the time, that was one of the hardest obstacles we had to overcome. But then came our microbiology final. People were buying coffees at midnight, bringing pillows into the library, pulling all-nighters, and adjusting their font size on their note card to .04 just to fit all the information on it. I remember tired eyes, but determined students walking into the exam that day. And after 2 hours, the most difficult exam was over. What we thought was the most difficult exam. At the time, summer of 2015 had come and gone, and our junior year had finally arrived. Most of August was spent frantically booking doctor's appointments, trying to fulfill all the health requirements and putting them into my record tracker. Our very first clinical was just a few weeks away, and in August, we received our very first med-surg clinical placements. I couldn't believe we would finally be taking care of patients in the hospital. Then came the vital signs, the bed baths, and our very first injections. Of course, we learned to do all of this in health assessment, where we awkwardly did health assessments on each other for 4 months. And if anyone else remembers sitting in lab the very first day, and your instructor's telling you, you will be able to do a full head-to-toe assessment in just 10 minutes by the end of this semester. I thought it was a joke. I could barely take a blood pressure in 10 minutes, never mind do a full head-to-toe assessment. But along with lab, we were taking our very first nursing classes. And I think we all shared a moment in time that junior year, we all questioned whether or not we were going to make it. How did the faculty expect us to do a full head-to-toe assessment, take 5 exams all in 1 week that were all almost 100 questions, and still be living, breathing college students? By the end of the semester, our class had become so much closer, bonding over how stressful things have been, but also how much progress we had made in such a short amount of time. The following semester, we continued our journey and began our clinical with babies, children, and moms. I will never forget witnessing the birth of 2 babies born in 1 day. It made me realize why I wanted to become a nurse, to give comfort to mothers bringing new life into the world, and to be part of such a special moment in their lives. While I remember the very first birth I witnessed, which I'm sure all of you do as well, I remember the first patient that I had lost. And in those moments, I was reminded again of why I wanted to become a nurse. To be by the bedside, holding my patient's hand, who was surrounded by such a loving family, and to find that I could bring comfort and ease to a patient in one of the most difficult times of their lives. And I think that's what we all strive for, to provide empathy and support to families and patients in their most vulnerable times. And to say the least, junior year was the most challenging, but the most rewarding year of nursing school. And after our long hours of learning, studying, and practicing brought us to our senior year, how could we forget being welcomed in with a spoonful of sugar and the cardiac conduction song, starting with SA node, down the internodals, off to the Bachman AV node. So I just want to say thank you to Professor Herman, who has made every single class unforgettable for us. At the time, we were learning about heart rhythms, chest tubes, full codes, and so much more than I could ever imagine. We started this journey thinking we were never going to be able to take a manual blood pressure. And here we were, learning how to save a life. Did we even recognize how far we had come? Time flew by, and fall semester finals week was ahead of us. We studied for weeks in advance, took our test, and waited impatiently for our grades to be posted. And I think that was the hardest part, the waiting game. Having to wait for the little red notification to pop up on the right side of Blackboard, letting us know whether we passed or we failed. And the truth is, now that number behind the little red notification seems so insignificant. The number we all waited for, almost like it was going to define what kind of nurse we would be, now seems like such a small part of nursing school. This spring, we were placed in our capstone clinical rotations, an experience that we had all been looking forward to for I don't even know how long, and we were being able to put our skills fully to the test to see what kind of nurse we might be one day. And today, we sit here at our undergraduate nursing graduation. The little red notification did not tell you what kind of nurse you would be, but all of these people, all of the unforgettable professors, all of your friends, and all of these experiences over the last 4 years have shaped you into the kind of nurse that you will become, a proud Quinnipiac nurse. One who views a patient lying in bed as a person with feelings and a life, and not just a body suffering from disease. You will know that a smile can change a patient's day from being one of the worst to exactly what they need. Sitting at the bedside, sharing a moment of silence will now be recognized as exactly what a patient needs. The truth is, you can become any nurse you want to be. You can be the nurse that comforts new mothers and fathers, entering a new chapter in their lives, or who holds the elderly man after his wife has passed away. You can be the nurse who is holding the kid going through chemotherapy, or the nurse who is holding the patient who is recovering from surgery walking down the hall. You can be any nurse you want to be, because we have the skills, and we have the knowledge, and we have the compassion to make a difference one patient at a time. And yes, going forward is going to be scary. We have to take our NCLEX. Patients will eventually be our sole responsibility, but we are expected to grow and develop as professionals, and we are ready. We have profoundly fulfilled the expectations of this program and will take with us so much more. We will become great nurses, and I am so grateful that I have become and have been a part of this community with every single one of you. We will always have the memory becoming sweeter with each passing moment of these 4 years of college to look back on. We started together, studied together, cried together, and now we are here celebrating together. So class, when we walk out of this building, we will begin the next chapter of our lives as professionals. I hope for each and every one of you, it is everything you have dreamed since the beginning of this program. Good luck to every single one of you. I am so proud. Congratulations. We did it!
It's my privilege now to introduce Dr. Barbara DuPont, Quinnipiac alumna, to officially welcome our graduates as alumni.
I love Quinnipiac. I ask the graduates of the School of Nursing to please rise. It is my great honor to stand before you as a former assistant professor of nursing of this outstanding school, a doctor of nursing practice, and proud graduate from the School of Law class of 1994. I now invite you to move your tassel to the left of your mortarboard. This simple act signifies your transition from students to alumnus and the continuation of your unique, meaningful, and lifelong relationship with Quinnipiac University. I'm especially pleased to welcome all of you to the Quinnipiac University alumnus family. And I urge you to continue to bring honor and distinction to our beloved and noble university and our esteemed profession in the Nightingale tradition. Congratulations to all of you.
Before I reintroduce Reverend Jordan Lenahan, who will deliver the benediction, I have a few announcements, and the graduates may be seated. Only the platform party and faculty will recess out, and we ask the graduates to go to the area behind the stage for a class photo. And if you don't mind, we would also love it if you can also give us a photo of your mortarboards, if you could take them off, because they're so amazing. We'd love to have a picture of just the mortarboards too. So for families and guests, we ask that you give your graduate a few minutes to have their photo taken before you meet up with them. Either remain at your seats or you can go directly to the reception, which is at the Rocky Top Student Center next door, while we accommodate a few moments for those photos. There is transportation to the Rocky Top Student Center for those needing assistance. Once outside, you'll see signs on the left. Would you please stand? And it's now my privilege to ask Reverend Jordan Lenahan, Catholic chaplain, to please come forward and deliver the benediction.
Frankly, one of you knows me better than the rest. Last semester, I had gone to my own doctor, and she said, "Do you mind if I bring a nursing student who's shadowing me in?" And I said, "Absolutely. If she's learning, bring her in." And the student came in, and I said, "Now, where do you go to school?" And she says, "Oh, Father, I go to Quinnipiac." And at that moment, the physician, in one swift, almost sort of martial arts move, had a door open, and that student out of the door. And she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She can't see your records. She's bound by HIPAA." And I looked at her and I said, "Please, doctor, relax." I said, "I work at Quinnipiac." I said, "They're the best nursing students there are, and I would never, ever hesitate to be treated by one of them." And a few moments ago, about an hour ago, you processed in here as undergraduate Quinnipiac students. And in a few moments, you're going to walk out of here as alumni of this university. And with that in mind, I'd invite you now to please once more bow your heads. Graduates of our student School of Nursing, as you go forth today, may you know in your lives success and joy. May you know love and laughter. May what you have learned here at Quinnipiac University allow you to advance your professions and field of endeavors. May it allow you to transform lives, to heal our world. May you leave the world a better place because you were in it. And may you always be women and men of dignity, integrity, and character. And may God bless you this day and every day of your life. Amen.